I'm Scott Simi, Chief Content Editor with In Robotics, and joining me today on our Soundbite micro podcast is our Head of R&D Sales, Luke Corbeth. Welcome, Luke.
Thank you so much for having me, Scott.
Luke, you're a pretty busy guy these days. No sooner have you wrapped up the big Automate 2025 show in Detroit, and you're now in Atlanta for the big IEEE International Conference on Robotics and Automation, also known as ICRA. What's the conference about?
Yeah, so this conference really aims to bring together the brightest minds in robotics, hopefully revealing and discussing their latest discoveries and showcasing some of the most recent innovations in our field. The conference is comprised of an exhibit hall. There are a ton of different learning sessions, poster presentations, and so much more.
It looks very much like it's a learning event. I was going through a bit of the agenda, and I noted also that some 3,000 papers have been submitted. And as you mentioned, there'll be posters, technical papers on display. It sounds like this is a big part of the ICRA show. And I guess the question for someone who's not in that academic sphere is, why are these papers important?
Yeah, I think these papers are really important to determine the new status quo and understand where the field is going and how some of their colleagues have gotten there. It's really about creating that knowledge transfer. Others can build on top of what was discovered instead of having to do that work over again. And that ultimately lays the groundwork for improvement in our field, but also collaboration as well between academia, industry, and others.
And have you taken a robot down with you? What will you be displaying at the show?
Yeah, so we'll use this show as a platform to showcase our Indro Cortex technology, in addition to what we've been doing with Indro Controller, both for our academic and our industrial clients. So we'll have that on display. We'll be talking a lot about some of our robot bundles that have been used to great success to publish some of these papers that will be at ICRA. So I'll have a lot of discussions around that. And then lastly, we'll be bringing our research drones as a result of some of our deployments with our sister company, Cypher Robotics. We're now making that technology available to researchers to hopefully advance some of the UAV research being done at universities and innovation centers.
And for those who aren't familiar with Cortex, can you give me the elevator pitch about what this device is?
Yeah, so it's a brain box for virtually any robot or drone. So the idea behind Cortex is it's extremely lightweight. It has really capable compute in the Orin NX, in addition to 5G connectivity and power distribution. So we can turn virtually any unmanned ground vehicle or unmanned aerial vehicle into a robot capable of teleoperation and autonomy with a little bit of software and some sensor integrations.
Attending shows like this is not an insignificant expense. What's in it for Indro when we go to a show like this?
Yeah, so this is a fantastic opportunity to meet some of our existing clients in person, but also connect with some prospective clients. Try to understand what are the needs and have those conversations to ensure we're structuring our offerings to enable the most cutting edge research in the world. We also use this as a platform to start collaborations with universities and other members from industry to tackle really compelling problems. And then, of course, I like being there just to see what all the papers are about, learning and evaluating some of these trends to see where our industry is headed and how bright the future just might be.
I know from attending shows like this that often you're tied to the booth for the event, especially if you got people coming up and asking questions. But assuming you get a chance to get out and walk the floor a bit, is there anything in particular that you will be keeping your eyes out for?
Yeah, I personally love visiting all of the poster presentations and just hearing from the researchers themselves how they came to be. If you get that first-hand interaction with the person doing the research, you find you can learn so quickly because they've been so invested in their discovery that they're very passionate about it, and that enthusiasm really seeps through. And it's really what inspires me to continue to bring fantastic robotic solutions to our clients.
You touched on it there, perhaps, but my other question was going to be, what is your favorite part about attending these shows?
The cool robot, Scott.
Final question for you, and the one I know everyone is waiting to hear your answer on, is what are your shoes of choice for one of these events where you got to walk and walk when you get the chance?
Anything but a flat sole dress shoe. That is the correct and only answer.
All right, Luke, have an awesome time at ICRA. Luke Corbeth, Head of R&D Sales at Indra Robotics. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Scott.